Heart failure is a major global health problem and is associated with a high risk for mortality and morbidity, as well as resource utilization. The approximate global prevalence of heart failure is 60 million people, 30 million of whom have heart failure with reduced ejection fraction. The diagnosis of heart failure with reduced ejection fraction requires the presence of symptoms and/or signs of heart failure and reduced ejection fraction. Diagnostic evaluation in these patients should include measurement of the cardiac biomarkers like brain natriuretic peptide, BNP, or N-terminal pro-B-type natriuretic peptide, NT-proBNP, which are usually significantly elevated in these patients. Assessment of renal function. Two-dimensional echocardiography to assess the left ventricular function, which could show a sudden and significant deterioration. A significant drop in ejection fraction is observed. Annually, approximately 1 in 3 patients with symptomatic disease will develop worsening chronic heart failure. Worsening chronic heart failure is characterized by progressively escalating signs and symptoms that require an intensification of treatment over current therapy and is associated with a markedly worse prognosis despite use of current therapies. This acute, decompensated heart failure is an unstable situation. The rapid progression of symptoms requires an adjustment in therapy, either by increasing the dosage of current treatments or introducing new treatments. Each worsening heart failure event results in progressive deterioration and increases your patient's risk of further heart failure hospitalization and ultimately death. Worsening chronic heart failure is associated with an increased mortality risk. More than 1 in 5 patients died within 2 years of the worsening event. With each subsequent heart failure hospitalization, the risk of death approximately doubles for patients with worsening chronic heart failure. Over time, worsening heart failure events become more frequent, and patients enter a cycle of recurrent events. In the McMurray study, 1 in 7 patients experienced hospitalization for heart failure or cardiovascular death, despite confirmed use of the 4 first-line foundational treatments. All patients with heart failure are at extremely high risk of cardiovascular death or heart failure hospitalization.